If you just got your first CB radio and this is what you got, the Cobra 29LX, and you just want to set all these buttons and knobs to how other truckers have it so you can just listen to what's going on, this is the video for you. I'm going to show you how to set all this stuff so you can hear what's going on the airwaves. The first button is going to be over here on the left. There's an outer knob and there's an inner knob. The small inner knob is the power. So just to turn it on when you wake up in the morning, you just turn this when it clicks and it turns it on. And then the further you turn it, it's also the volume. So you can turn it all the way up by turning it all the way clockwise. So that's the volume. The next one, we're getting some CB action here. So we're going to turn the volume down so we don't have that interfere with us. The next one is the outer one over here. It's squelch. Now squelch sort of works hand in hand with RF gain. The RF gain and squelch are sort of hand in hand, so I'm going to explain both of those at the same time. The RF, the squelch is basically, you turn it all the way down and it lets every signal that hits your antenna, it'll come through the speaker. You just hear all that static. If you have your squelch all the way down, you'll just hear this static all day. And the proper way to set squelch is to go all the way down so that you hear the static. You want the static as part of this. You want to hear the static. And then you turn it clockwise until the static goes away. Okay, so now the static went away, and now the only signals that will get through and play through your speaker are signals that are strong enough to blast past the squelch setting. So all that background weak signal stuff won't come through your speakers. I said the RF gain kind of plays hand in hand with the squelch, and I'll show you how that works. The RF gain takes the incoming signal and increases the strength or increases the power of the signal. So basically, when you talk, your voice, as the further away it goes, the more it loses power over long distances. So RF gain takes those weak signals from long distances and makes them stronger when they are coming inbound. So when you turn the RF gain up, it will turn the signal that's coming into your radio stronger. So what that means is, if it's a stronger signal, the stronger signal will get past the squelch. So right now, we just set the squelch and it took away all that static, but I can bring that static back by making the power of that signal stronger by turning up the RF gain, like this. See, now our squelch is still in the same spot, but the static came back because it just increased the power of the incoming signal. So I can turn down that RF gain, and it's kind of the same as adjusting the squelch. I can turn the squelch down, and the static comes back. Or I can turn the RF gain to increase the incoming signal to bring the static back. So you got to kind of play with those two to find your happy medium. And basically the RF gain, if you turn it all the way up, that will increase the power of the furthest away signals. So you don't really want it, unless you want to hear something that's super far away. If you want to open this thing up all the way so you can hear as much as possible, you turn the squelch all the way down and turn the RF gain all the way up. It's sort of like volume, but it's not really, because you can adjust the volume separately. So what I would recommend is for your RF gain, do something a little bit past 12 o'clock, like here's 12 o'clock straight up, and maybe go to the first dot right there. And then for your squelch, all the way down, so you hear the static. And then go up until the static goes away. There you go, and that's how you set your squelch in your RF gain. Dynamic is basically the kind of the volume of when you're talking on the microphone, how powerful your voice is coming out. I would set this at right around 50% or 12 o'clock. You don't want to have it up super high or down super low, unless someone, maybe if you're talking often on this thing and people are complaining that you're too loud or too quiet. That's how you adjust your outgoing mic level. Delta tune is kind of for like fine-tuning signals if it's slightly off and not really sounding good. Just leave that one at 50% or aka 12 o'clock. Put that dot up at the 12 o'clock area And that should be pretty much fine for everybody. On that far right knob, you have Talkback and you have SWR Calibrate. The SWR Calibrate is the big one, and that really only does, it only is operational during calibration of your antenna, so it doesn't really matter where it's at right now. And Talkback is basically hearing yourself talk through your microphone out of your speakers. In my experience, it doesn't really work too great. I'm just going to go to a channel where nobody is typically at, and I'll turn the Talkback all the way up. So I'll turn that all the way clockwise and see if I hear myself talk. Testing, testing, test, test, test. See, it's not really, I don't even hear much. So, I mean, maybe there's more to that, but when you just buy it from the store and put it in this Peterbilt 579, it doesn't really do much. So I just, you know, who cares where it's at? Put it at 12 o'clock. Zoom in there. Focus, focus, 12 o'clock. And just to recap, the squelch and the RF gain, I can't really tell you exactly where to put those because I kind of explained how those work. It's up to you and where do you put them. Dynamic, put at 12 o'clock. Delta Tune, also put at 12 o'clock. Talkback, in my experience, doesn't really work too well. And SWR Calibrate doesn't matter. Now, of course, you want to be in CB mode. You have a CB, weather, and PA system mode right here. If you press this button, right now I'm in CB mode, you can press this button, you go to weather.
Drain or allowed to drip slowly. Those that have in ground sprinkler systems should drain them and cover above ground pipes to protect them from freezing.
It's basically just reading the weather. There's different channels you can go to for the weather. So basically you just got to go to weather and you can find the channel where the weather is playing in your area. So you can just, there's only 10 channels, so you can find wherever the weather is. Right here where I'm at, it's channel 4. So that's how you get to weather. You can go to PA, public address. That's if you, in the back of your CB radio, there's another port where you can plug in a speaker for an external speaker, which would be like, you know, wherever, outside your truck or wherever. And that's what the PA is for. So you want to go to CB, and that's how you listen to the CB airwaves. And of course, while you're in CB mode, you want to be on channel 19. Channel 19 is where pretty much everyone hangs out as truckers, and that's where everyone is. That's where you'll hear traffic updates, and if you're talking to someone, maybe you can communicate, hey, we'll go to this other channel, and you might hear people talking on other channels if that's what they're doing. Over here you have SWR/calibrate, and you'll see that setting change. It says S/RF. You can switch between SWR and calibrate. You want to be in S/RF to be able to listen and to receive and transmit. That's the mode you want to be in. And this noise blanker, automatic noise limiter, is going to restrict noise coming from your truck, like different noises that your truck makes. It can kind of leak into the CB radio, and this mode will limit some of that sound that you don't want. You can turn it off, or you can turn on automatic noise limiter only, or noise blanker / automatic noise limiter. That's the setting that I leave it on. So you want that to be on NB/ANL, and you want the bottom one to be on S/RF. This is where I hang out. I leave I just let my radio sit like this all day and just wait and see if anyone talks, if there's traffic. This is where people will tell you if there's traffic coming up or whatever. If you want to scan all the channels, you can be driving and it can just be scanning all the channels. It's basically going to go through all the channels. You just hit the scan button up here in the upper right hand corner. You just press that, and it's going to scan through all the channels. And if it hears something, it's just going to stop at that channel. Like, we got lucky. There's someone talking on channel 20 right now. So you hit scan again, and it turns it off. Press it again, it turns it back on. See, there's signals coming in all these, so we're getting lucky at stopping on all of them. But usually it scans through there really fast. Press scan again to turn it off. Press scan again to turn it on. See, it can get pretty fast. So if you want, you can just leave it on scan mode, And if it ever hears a signal that's strong enough, it'll just stop on that channel and you can listen in. And then you hit scan. If you're interested, you hit scan and it'll stay on that channel so you can just listen to what's going on. I'll do the scan if I'm bored or whatever, but most of the time I'll turn scan off and I just leave it on channel 19 because that's where the majority of the truck drivers will be. And I hope that video helped you. If it did, please give me a like. Thank you so much for watching, and you have a great day.